你正在收看的是澳大利亚普通话新闻。本周与我们面对面的这位男士，曾是一位芭蕾舞演员、一名政治犯、一个出租车司机。不过现在，他是一名世界知名的艺术家，他就是查尔斯·比利奇先生。这位悉尼画家职业生涯长达50多年，他是唯一被指定为秦兵马俑绘画的艺术家。记者王千玉在采访中首先了解他是怎样在画布上将兵马俑神形兼备地表现出来的。
Each one of them, many thousands of them, individually painted and treated, would have had a soul. In fact, they were actually accompanying the soul of the emperor. So when you mix and match, you achieve this illusion of infinity.
在2001年，你创作了《北京千年城市景观》这幅作品。当时为了完成最后的成品，你做了怎样的准备工作呢？
So I had to crisscross Beijing and try to look for gems. But it was at the time when I thought more was more, you know. And now I think differently. I think now that less is more, much more.
你如何看待中国在北京奥运会之前与之后的转变呢？
It changed before your eyes, virtually, you know. When I bought my house in China, I virtually had no neighbors. You know, now there's skyscrapers around me. So it changes continually, and changes in every sense of the word. You know, changes politically. Of course, no system is perfect. So the Chinese have a good chance now to show the rest of the world how to come up with the best government in the world. There's a big challenge for the Chinese.
你在中国有着像摇滚巨星般的地位，对于中国人民对你的热烈支持，你有什么感受呢？
Doesn't matter how famous you're in a place, you always get to another place where it'll be totally unknown and people never heard of you. I really enjoy the fact that you have to reinvent yourself anyway, because you can never rest on your laurels. I'm very grateful for the Chinese public.
在中国快速成长中的艺术界里，你觉得你成功的秘诀是什么？
I think you have to go around and not only because of your own promotional motives, but because you really get inspired by the world. I'm unpredictable. I'm persona non grata among the galleries because I don't have a permanent signature. I hop from one theme to another. But who wouldn't? If you were as old as me, you also would.
你曾经说过，你认为太多华人艺术家想要成为西方艺术家，但他们却没有意识到这想法的危险性。能不能跟我们详细谈谈你的看法？
Sometimes you see funny things like how some Chinese artists want to mimic Western masters, for instance, complete with all the idiocies that they may come up with and so on, you know. And I'm seeing a glimmer of stability in Chinese styles and themes. More intelligent artists are maturing.
你如何看待中国艺术界近年间的改变呢？
The Cultural Revolution demanded of them certain compromises. They had to adapt themselves to some kind of Russian-inspired type of Western art in order to achieve the triumphalism inherent to being the servants of Mao. That transition is now in the past. It's a fresh culture going through a transition. It's got all the inherent enthusiasm, energy, and force, and support. The number of artists in China, 3 million of them. It's only mathematically logical that it will dominate the world in the near future.
你经常在中国各地旅游，对你来说印象最深刻的地方是哪里呢？
Qingdao really was a very inspiring city.
为什么那么喜欢青岛呢？
Well, the fact that it's a sea city, you know, I was born by the sea, and I want to die by the sea. How many lifetimes could I spend in China? But even if you stay there all the time, you need about 3 lifetimes to paint it.
那查尔斯·比利奇的下一个重要的计划是什么？
This cycle on Zhenghe, because I'm really fascinated, almost like a boy, wanting to read about adventure stories, what life could have been on board those big treasure ships, each one with 9 masts. There were about 250 just of those. 1,750 smaller craft, each and every one of those much bigger than the Santa Maria in which Colombo went to discover the New World. They would totally absorb me if I weren't careful, so I really have to avoid that.
最后，对于明天的中国农历新年，你打算如何庆祝？
I have not been actually participating in Chinese New Year, so I will try to translate the New Year into a painting.